Shabbat Shalom, all. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
Hi.
It's so good to see you. It is so just absolutely incredible to be here in this space again together, especially as we prepare to join together for the high holidays so soon. And for those who are joining us on Zoom, it's so good to see you as well. I know that Rabbi Singer is there with you, greeting you and helping you to make your spaces, your homes, the holy spaces that they are for this Shabbat service. This month of Elul and the leading up to the High Holy Day period is about getting both inside and outside of ourselves. It was just about a week and a half ago that we celebrated Rosh Chodesh Elul, meaning the beginning of the month of Elul, the beginning of the last month of the Hebrew year, and thus marking a month, now way less, till Rosh Hashanah. This month of Elul is all about reflection. Reflection on our past year. How have I acted? How have I treated one another? And what could I have done better? I have a short story for us. A rich miser once complained to the rabbi about the many demands that were upon him. The rabbi led him to the window and said, "Look out and tell me what you see." "I see people," said the man. Then the rabbi led him to the mirror on the wall and said, "Now look in the mirror and tell me what you see." The man answered, "Now I see myself." The difference between the glass in the window and the glass in the mirror is only a thin layer of silver. When we, like the mirror and the window, we need to both get inside of ourselves and look out. Be willing to see who we truly are and who our community is. For inside, what am I? What are my faults and my failures? What have I succeeded in this past year? When we truly see ourselves and know ourselves, only then can we turn from the mirror to the window, focusing our attention and energies on the wider community. So halfway through Elul, I hope that we are working in this way of getting ready for our high holy days, some of our most special times in our calendar. But here on Shabbat, we celebrate that beauty of the week, and we celebrate the light that is shown. And to help us bring in the light of Shabbat, we get to invite up our temple board president, Sherry Weil, who is going to bless us with lighting the Shabbat candles. Sherry began her tenure just about a month ago, and so we're so excited to have such incredible time with you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu v'sivanu v'hamutner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Sherry, for continually helping to bring the light into our Temple Sholom space. We're going to turn to page 123 as Sherry has represented our leaders, our lay leaders in our community. We get to also now invite up Jody Moradi, who has been here at Temple Sholom with us, a director of finance, for over 20 years, I think over 25 years? Yeah? Is that right? Yeah, I got a little head nod, like, yes, but stop saying how many years. And Jody representing all of our staff who are working so incredibly hard to prepare Temple Sholom for our High Holy Days. So on page 123, we all rise for the Kiddush, whether in body or in spirit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagaf.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit Kilu yom tefila l'mikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon Hilchatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Let's top of the line like grape juice. Do it. Do it.
L'chaim.
Thank you.
That was the most polite pass of the grape juices I've ever seen. And so as everyone else sits, of course, I've got to give you a big hug. Thank you. Thank you. I invite now to the Bima, an incredible family. So let me invite now to the Bima someone who is getting her Hebrew name. So Annika, maybe you'll bring your parents with you. So if you would, thank you so much. You'll bring up your parents, Mandy and Matthew, and Sister Magnolia, Maggie, is coming along as well, and you're going to have a very important part in your sister receiving her Hebrew name. Oh, what a special family you are. So, yeah, absolutely. Come on up this way. It's so good to see you. And as you come up here, Annika, this is such a special time to get your Hebrew name because you might have heard Rabbi Gelman talk about we're in the month of Elul, a time of seeing the best in ourselves. And
Not all of ourselves.
the squirmy self too, absolutely. This is time to feel out the bima, get set. Bat mitzvah is going to be in the future, not too long from now. And so absolutely look around. Wow. And so Annika, I want to say that this is such a special time for you to get your Hebrew name because you're getting it while the moon of Elul is getting really big. It's getting full, just like the way that you're filling your whole family's hearts and the hearts of this community with so much love and excitement. And so we want to tell you that you're getting this Hebrew name because you're getting named in honor of some very important people. And so you're going to get your Hebrew name. I'll first tell you what your Hebrew name is in a little prayer. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, kayemet hayalda hazot leviha u'ima, v'yikarei Shema v'Yisrael, Chana Elza, bat Matadyahu, u'Miriam Devorah Yosefa. Our God and God of our parents and our ancestors, sustain this beautiful child, Annika, through her parents' loving care. Let her be known among our people, Israel, by the name Hannah Elza, Bat Matavyahu, Umeriam Devorah Yosefa. May her name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our people and all humankind. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and soul, and as they have brought her into this covenant, into this beautiful community, So may they, with wisdom and patience, lead her to the study of Torah, to a life of good deeds, and to a marriage worthy of God's blessing. And to that we can all say, Amen. So, Annika, you were named for two very special people. One was your mom's very dear friend, Annette. Annette was someone who traveled the world. She was so curious about life. She went all over the world, and that's where she met your mom, at an airport. Well, they had to wait 2 hours together, and they became fast friends. And so while she passed from this earth too soon in the tsunami, she is very much with us in spirit through you. So we hope you'll take her spirit of adventure into yours. And you are named for your maternal great-grandmother, Evelyn, who was such a great bubby. Bubby made dinners for everyone. She had a sense of home and lovingness and kindness in a way that we hope you inherit too. So as you go on life adventures, and you'll always know what home is, and you will always welcome people into your home, and may you continue to show all the joy in your heart that you bring to this incredible family. Your sister brings so much sweetness to you and to your whole family's life and to ours. So Maggie, would you dip your pinky here? Give a little to your sister Annika, showing the sweetness and wisdom that you're always going to pass to her in her life. And to this we sing the Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov!
Mazel tov!
Yay! You were so good.
Welcome, Chana. I hope everyone is really getting those Mazel Tov muscles ready, because this is just one of the great simchas that we have tonight. Blessing so many in our community brings us just such incredible joy. And it means welcoming people into our community, both as little Hanas, also as those who work towards conversion, and those welcoming into our Temple Sholom family, even by marriage. And so we welcome in so many, we also welcome in Shabbat. And as we turn back into our prayer book to page 138, we find Lecha Dodi, as here we welcome once again, this time, the beautiful Sabbath bride.
Lecha Dodi likana, Shabbat lekana, Lecha Dodi likana, Shabbat lekana, Lecha Dodi, Lecha
welcome, Shabbat.
גם בשמחה ובעולם, תוכן המסורה, בואי חלב, בואי חלב. לך דודי נשמע שבת, ונשמה נשמע שבת, לך דודי נשמע שבת, ונשמה נשמע שבת. We remain standing as we turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu.
Lai, 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 Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch
Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 the bottom of page 149, let's pray together in the English. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 152.
Hear, O Israel, our God is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
We may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרת מאוד ידך, והיו תוספות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And we celebrate freedom of our people on page 158.
מי כמוך בהם אדוני, מי כמוך נגד הקודש, תורה תהילות עושה אלם, תורה תהילות
As we turn the page, we seek that place where we feel comfortable. Reminds me of a poem by Yehuda Amichai, The Place Where We Are Right. From the place where we are right, flowers will never grow in the spring. The place where we are right is hard and trampled like a yard, but doubts and loves dig up the world like a mole, a plow, and a whisper will be heard in the place where the ruined house once stood. We celebrate the places that we feel the most at peace on page 160.
Eloheinu leshalom v'ha'areinu lechaim. Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'ha'areinu lechaim.
Yoni and Julia, would you please come to the bima? In just a few short weeks, you're getting married. Woo. And I have to say that I love that this is the time that you've chosen to have your ofruf here at Temple Sholom. I know that you'll have another one if you haven't already at Mishkan. And I just love that this is how you embody both the Jewish people and also each other, where more is more exploration, more Jewish wisdom, more Jewish community, more community in general, more identifying with humanity as a whole, the better off you both are. You both have such beautiful, unique light and wisdom. Each one of you is a great leader in this Jewish community in different ways. And yet the two of you together, it's amazing. And I love that this is the time that you've chosen to be blessed in this community. because this Torah portion has one of the phrases that I think embodies the two of you more than any other. We hear in it, it says, Lo tuchal lehitalem, that you can never remain indifferent. And I think that while you've loved how Yoni will serenade you by telling him he loves you, by learning a song by Elvis Presley, Fools Rush In, and while you love that anywhere that you are with Julia, you feel like you are home and gotten, and that there is somebody who has your back through thick and thin, that even as you both realize how special each one of you is, you know that part of your great love is helping to repair this world, to not remaining indifferent just because you are lucky enough to have found your beshert, that there's a whole lot of work to do out there. And you have this ability to nurture each other in the depths of your beings so that you can go out and do the work that needs to be done. You never remain indifferent to anyone around you. And you do that because you are so attuned both to yourselves individually and what you have together. That's magical. And so we're grateful as an entire congregation to be able to bless you in this moment. And so I invite Rabbi Gelman, Rabbi Singer, Cantor Ben David, to be able to, and I invite everyone here just to put your hands up in prayer. This is the way in which the divine flows through all of us and blesses you with this threefold benediction. Come closer, but not so close that you feel uncomfortable by the.
I'm a rebel.
There we go.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May you feel God's light shining upon you and through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you feel God's presence in all that you do for our world, for our Jewish people, for our Temple Sholom and Mishkan communities, and for each other. And may you find peace.
Amen.
Amen.
And as we say Mazel Tov with a little bit of candy, we invite you to go over that way. Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov, Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov, Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov.
Yehelanu, 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 Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Oh, fantastic. Great. I have dessert for later now. We turn in our prayer books, and again, we're only 2/3 of our way through the Simcha celebrations of tonight. This is so exciting. Back in our prayer books to page 164 as we rise for the Amidah in body or in spirit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
Eloheinu, Eloheinu, V'imotenu.
Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevig Gula Livnei Bneihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechaker Hayim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Tomech Noflim Berofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Nichamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'neman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kedoshim B'Kol Yom Yehalelu HaSelah. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
As we prepare for our silent prayer and meditation, a poem by Mary Oliver. As deep as I ever went into the forest, I came upon an old stone bench, very, very old, and around it a clearing, and beyond that taller trees and older than I had ever seen. Such silence. It really wasn't so far from a town, but it seemed all the clocks in the world had stopped counting, so it was hard to suppose the usual rules applied. Sometimes there's only a hint, a possibility. What's magical sometimes has deeper roots than reason. I hope everyone knows that. I sat on the bench, waiting for something, an angel perhaps, or dancers with the legs of goats. No, I didn't see either, but only I think because I didn't stay long enough. We take a moment of privacy, silent prayer, and meditation, each of us in our own way. And when we feel ready, we may be seated. We do that beautiful, like celebrating together, clapping together, singing in joy. But we also remember that there are those in our lives who it takes a little bit of maybe extra energy. Maybe they're incapable right now of sitting in so much joy because of pain in their lives. That pain might be physical, might be spiritual, might be mental pain. And we think about them for our prayer of Misha Berach, our prayer of healing. As for all those who are here in person, we're able to add names, and those who are joining us by Zoom, you were able to add names to the form that was in the chat. Our Temple Sholom community this Shabbat for healing is thinking of Sarah Golub, Louise Chapman, Mary Spriggs, Anthony Barnes, Heidi Habs, Hildy Lieberman, Winifred Halsey, Max Cohn, Irene Ross, Jacob Holden, Ira Levinson, Mary Ryan, Patty Wallace, Julian DeVille, Hildy Lieberman, Flo Bernberg, Adrian Rosenberg, Stan Gross and Betsy Gross, Jonathan Spitz, Elaine Baddock, Javier Escalante, Marge Hilliard, Greg Bogost, Glenn Hedman, Saul Blumenfeld, Elizabeth DeBryan, Alec DeLayden, and Lily Nelson, Judy Holtzman and Sheldon Steinloff, and David Sussman and Barbara Sussman, Don Sable, Jim Clemens, Nina Silverstein, and Pam Zolnay, and Kim Dombrow, Danny Alt, Debbie Willage, Candy Roller, Tammy Mormino, Susie Schub and Fran Steinberg, Bob Beecher, Gail Rothner and Howard Nagelberg, and Lori Barish, Dennis Tosi, and Bart Barish, and Troy Colney, and Kim Rosencrantz, and Nathan Lamp, and Anna Sarah Kaplan, and Shandel Schifrin, and Eugene Schifrin, and Beth Singer, and Linny Kay. And for all those that we're holding in our hearts, those whose names are said aloud, we pray the words of Misha Berach, praying for their healing, which can be found on page 350?
71.
371. I was getting there. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So on this Shabbat, each and every month, we are excited to celebrate right here in the middle of our month all of those who are celebrating this month a birthday. So, if if you're here in person, I'll ask you to rise where you are so we can acknowledge you for an August birthday. And if you're on Zoom, if you write the day of August in the chat, I can acknowledge you from there. So no August birthdays here?
Come on, Leos.
There we go.
Leos,
There we
don't
go.
let me down. August 16th. Come on.
August 16th.
Come on.
What? The August 12th?
Oh, that's right. Get to see where you are.
I didn't hear you, Allison. On
Yeah.
the 11th. Beautiful.
Happy birthday.
And some of ours on Zoom. Meg or Max, don't know who put it in. August 4th and August 3rd for Hannah and Jacob. August 23rd and Rick McVeigh on the 18th and John Seiner on August 2nd.
Nice.
It is so exciting that we. Oh, it's Meg. Great. Happy birthday, Meg. It's so exciting that we get to celebrate all of your birthdays, whether they've come or whether they're coming up. So we're going to sing
Yom
Shehachiyanu.
Huledet. A little
Yom Huledet. Awesome.
Ready? Ooh, that's high, but let's just do it. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach.
Yom Huledet Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And it is wonderful now to call Sanji Hawkins to the Bima, who is now officially entering the community of the Jewish people. Though I have to say, Sanji, you were born with a Jewish soul. And it is so wonderful now to be able to celebrate with you as you make our home that much more beautiful. So it is wonderful now, and I'll invite the congregation to rise in any way that is accessible to you as we have this ark to be able to ascend as Sanji ascends to Judaism. So I'll just invite you, Sanji, to meet me here. I know I was so good at the other steps, and then I let it drop off. I apologize. So Sanji, I want to say just a few things to you. One is that what a beautiful time to come into Judaism. In this time of Elul, in this time of when an entire people is trying to find the best in ourselves, here you are embodying it right in front of us. I love that. And also, you know that you have your perfect psalm for always. Everyone has a beautiful psalm in their heart. Yours, of course, will always be Psalm 27, the psalm that we say in the month of Elul. And we say it because there's that beautiful portion of it where the psalmist says, Lule ha'amanti, if I didn't have faith. And this whole notion is to turn ourselves around, to be able to see where is it that we can get our deepest sources and resources of faith from. And I have to say, some of it comes from right inside of you. Some of it comes from this beautiful human being who has been such a source of support, Jack. And some of it comes from this entire community and the ancient wells of wisdom that you have dove into in such beautiful ways. And so, how wonderful now to be able to ask you just a few questions. You've got this whole community for your lifeline. If you should falter, if you're not sure how you want to answer something, here they are. Do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will? Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices? Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances? Do you promise to establish a Jewish home? What about to participate actively in the life of the synagogue?
I guess, yeah.
And the Jewish community?
Yeah.
Just so you know, Sanji is an incredible leader, both here at Temple Sholom in Shalem, as well as with Cole Orr in JCUA, as well as just an incredible leader, period. Do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge? Yes, I'm one of the most amazing students and teachers of Torah. And if you should have children, will you raise them as Jews? Ah, Sanji. So you've chosen the name Yochana. And in some ways, that's in order to be able to give kavod or give respect to your mother, who's been such a source, talk about a resource for faith in your life. Your mom, Joanne, who has in her whole life bestowed you with so much wisdom and love. And also, your name means grace with God. And I'll just say this about you. You are the embodiment of grace. You're kind and you are good. And you see the world both for what it is and what it can be. And then you're able to change it ever so beautifully through your grace. And so in that way, we are grateful that you are making this Jewish people that much grander with your presence, Yochana bat Avraham Basara. So I have the honor of handing this Torah to you to invite you to hold it as we, your community, sing with you the words of Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And now, Sanji. As you stand up here, we'll stand down here as we bless you with a threefold benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God continue to bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light continue to illuminate you in our world, and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha. Shalom, shalom.
May you continue to feel yourself supported and loved in a divine presence, and may that bring you peace. And to that we all say,
Amen. Mazel tov.
What's Rabbi?
So we've got more celebrating to do. You said that we were 2/3 done in the beginning, but we were only 2/5.
So much more.
So I'll invite some people to be seated if you've stood up. But everybody can, but some people might not get too comfortable because I might ask you to rise again, because we're celebrating milestones, people who have milestone anniversaries with Temple Sholom. This is such a special Shabbat because some people are celebrating either 5 years with Temple Sholom, maybe 10, maybe 15 or 20, 30, 35, 40. We've got a 50-year anniversary celebration with Temple Sholom. So I'm going to invite Rabbi Singer to let us know who's online with us, who's celebrating a milestone anniversary with us on this Shabbat. And as she gets ready to do so, I'm going to ask John Griffith, we're celebrating your 5-year anniversary. Would you please stand on up, as well as Lily Kornblum? I know it's very exciting. Mindy Stillman and Jeffrey Fairman. We're celebrating 15 years of our love together. I love this. Mark and Bill, it's also 15 years. Bob Spiegel, 15 years. Jennifer Gross, we're celebrating your 20th. Andrea Jacobson, she's not sitting far from you. Another 20th anniversary, Deb Paskind. What a good 20 years it's been. Wonderful, wonderful to get to celebrate with you. As well as Phyllis Vihone, 30 years. And Helene Cohn, you and Carrie and your beautiful fam, 35 years. Oh, I love that you're pointing to Cookie, but is this an anniversary for Cookie? How many years? 15 years. Woo! Beautiful Cookie. And Rabbi Singer, who else are we celebrating?
We are celebrating Eric Revels and Pamela Narens, who have been here for 20 years, Margot, who's been here for 25 years, as well as Matt McCumber and Judith Weinstein, who have also been here for 25 years.
Robert, were you putting your hand up because you've been here for a number of years that multiplies by 5? 20 years, Robert, wonderful to celebrate with you. And so as we all celebrate with one another, we want to be able to bless this incredible congregation who has been able to be both embraced and to embrace so many wonderful people in this community who bring life and love and light to all of us. And so how wonderful now that as an entire community, we will either rise or we'll put up our hands. You can choose as we sing the Yevarechecha, asking God to continue to bless, protect, and share God's light on all of us.
I'm going to have you all repeat with me. Kain Yehi Ratzon. Try that.
Kain Yehi Ratzon.
And it's just one line. You go, Kain Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Kain Yehi Ratzon. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Kain Yehi Ratzon. Yisar Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Kain Yehi Ratzon.
May God continue to bless and protect you. May you feel all of that light, that divine light, nourishing you on this journey of life. And may that then bring all of you great peace. And to that we all say, Amen. Amen. Mazel tov. So on this Shabbat, I want to share with you something that happened to me. You know, now with the Lucite, I can't really shove this under anything. Just put this over here. I want to share something that happened to me a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago now. I came across this poem by Mary Oliver for the first time. The poem begins, have you ever seen the way the sun every evening, relaxed and easy, floats toward the horizon and into the clouds or the hills or the rumpled sea and is gone. And then it slides again out of the blackness every morning on the other side of the world like a red flower streaming upward on its heavenly oils, say on a morning in early summer at its perfect imperial distance. And have you ever felt for anything such wild love? Do you think there is anywhere, bless you, in any language, a word billowing enough for the pleasure that fills you as the sun reaches out and it warms you as you stand there empty-handed. When I came across this poem, I felt both empty-handed and broken-hearted. I was on a plane back home to Chicago from St. Louis, still reeling from a family tragedy. It had been so tough, yet I had been surrounded by my family at every moment. So here I was on the plane, feeling alone and empty. And yet, I wasn't empty-handed. Just before I left the temple a week before, I grabbed a book off my shelf whose title seemed apt for the situation I was facing. Poems to Live By in Troubling Times. I hadn't had a moment to open the book while in St. Louis, but on this flight, I scanned the table of contents and saw there was a poem entitled The Sun by one of my favorite poets, Oliver. So as the wing of the planes tipped gently under the setting sun, whose light shone bright through my tiny window, I felt warmed by the simple miracle of the sun filling my window and my heart. And not just that, but that I was reading this particular poem right at sunset, when my heart needed these particular words from one of my favorite poets. And then that small miracle that I happened to grab this book off my shelf, seemingly for just this moment. While marveling at all of this in the dusk-filled airspace hovering somewhere between St. Louis and Chicago, I thought back to how that book was on my shelf in the first place. Well, wedged in the pages was the answer. There was a receipt that served as a bookmark that was shown to have come from Aviva Katzman, our Cantor Emerita, dating back to 2008. So it seems at some point my good friend had given me this book. Had I been down? Had she found a poem in there that she wanted to share with me? Had she simply gotten an extra copy? I don't remember. I must have shelved the book at the time without taking a closer look, or given my memory, I might have read it all the way through, even twice. But here it was, when I needed it most, a message from Temple Sholom filled with comfort and hope and inspiration. Such wild love, utterly needed, easily given from my spiritual home. And so many of us have countless moments like this from Temple Sholom, feeling supported when we've needed it most by our spiritual home. From lifelong friends we've met here, with the sacred feeling of truly belonging. The celebrations that fill our families with light, and big-hearted spiritual moments that open us up to the eternality of things, like the sun, floating toward the horizon, sliding again out of the blackness every morning on the other side of the world like a red flower. At the end of her poem, Oliver asks, and do you think there is anywhere in any language a word billowing enough for the pleasure that fills you as the sun reaches out and warms you? Well, for me, I've found my word because I found my place, my home, my love. That word is Sholom. And this year, when the world continues to discombobulate, when times have been as troubling as some of us have ever known, thank God for Temple Sholom, a place where our hearts beat loud and clear, where our paths intertwine, where our goodness grows and warms us. Shabbat Shalom.
Come on home, let yourself heal. You could sleep for 1,000 years. I won't let you disappear. Let your heart be here. I feel it in my limbs. I feel it in my soul. The pulse just grows so loud and so clear. Let your heart be here. You've been running far and wide, doing what you think is right, chasing what you feel inside. I will take your path as mine. I feel it in my wrist. I feel it in my wrist. I feel it in my soul. The pulse just grows so loud and so clear. Let your heart be here. Oh, let your heart be here. Let your heart be here.
Well, Rabbi Singer, I believe you have some announcements for us this evening.
I do. And I also have some more anniversaries to read off. So I want to do that really quickly. We have the Cohen family who's celebrating 20 years at Temple Sholom. David and Susie Shub, who are celebrating 45 years. Beatrice Berman Sandler, who has been here for 40 years. Kimberly McMahon, who has been here for close to 20 years. Joan and Jerry Field, who have been here for 5 wonderful years. David and Susie Shub for 45 years. Barbara Goincher has a 24-year anniversary, and Kara and Brent Stern are celebrating 5 years. So mazel tov to all of you, and thank you for sharing this with us. Also very excited to announce that tomorrow is the Mindful Jewish Aging Group is meeting from 1 to 3 p.m. And on Sunday, it is the Sholom Justice Open House, which I believe is meeting outside of this beautiful space where I'm sitting right now at Beyond Design. So that's Sunday from 4:30 to 6:30. On Monday, we have our Monday meal from 3:30 to 5, and need help with the extended to-go bags. If you're able to provide chips or bottled water or granola bars, you can sign up. A week from this Sunday, on the 29th, we have the Temple Sholom party in the parking lot, which is going to be the first opportunity to pick up Temple Sholom High Holiday swag, also known as Stuff We All Get, and prayer books. And we're going to meet in the parking lot with friends, staff, and clergy, and there will be activities for kids and an ice cream truck that is for everybody, not just for kids. And then finally, the annual High Holiday Food Drive benefiting the Lakeview Pantry is back. So we're going to be collecting non-perishable food items to be donated to the Lakeview Pantry on a number of dates next week, which you can look up online, and I'll put them in the chat. And it coincides with the swag bag pickup. So if you're coming to pick up your stuff, you can also drop off things for the Lakeview Food Pantry.
Beautiful.
And those are all of our announcements.
Well, thank you so much. And I believe Rabbi Gelman might even tell us a little bit more about what's going to be happening on August 29th on that Sunday. In addition to the party in the parking lot, we've got some shofar blowing in parks around the city.
Oh, we very, very much do. So an opportunity for everyone to hear the shofar blown, whether, I'll step into the frame here, whether you're going to be with us here in person for the holidays, or if you'll be on Zoom, you'll still always, or online, I mean, you'll still have the opportunity to hear the shofar blown, because we are going to be hearing what is called our neighborhood shofar sounds. We're going to hear the shofar blown. Two opportunities to hear it in the parking lot. I think it's 2:15 and 3:15. And then later that day, I believe it is 6 p.m. at Wells Park, and also at 6 p.m., whichever one's closer for you, Hamlin Park, where Rabbi Conover and I will be at each of our local parks blowing shofar.
Very exciting. I can hardly wait. And I'll also say that I think we should name it swaggle. Like the stuff we all get if we're lucky. Swaggle. So that's what we'll be getting. And if there are people who want to come to the shofar in the park and you want to get your swag there, let us know and we'll bring it to you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. And as we now start to close our service, we turn to the bottom of page 586 for Aleinu. We rise.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים מודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, שמו
And on this Shabbat, we are marking the passing of some true heroes in Judaism. We're marking the passing of Leon Koppelman, who was the last survivor from the fighters in the Warsaw Ghetto. We're also remembering Rabbi Richard Hirsch of blessed memory, who was one of the founders of the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism. He marched with Martin Luther King Jr. and made space and a difference for so many of us, both through the civil rights movement, as well as working on behalf of Soviet Jewry. He did so much, and we remember him and the legacy he leaves. We also mark the second yard site for Rabbi Peter Noble of blessed memory, who not only impacted our entire movement in this world, but so many of us personally here at Temple Sholom, when he was our interim senior rabbi. These were all shining lights in Judaism, and they all continue to shine upon us through memory, through their model of leadership, and through their love. We remember them. We also remember those who recently passed from this earth, who were shining lights in some of our lives, and whose light we can still feel through the people whom they touched, like Kenneth Siegel, whose memory is a blessing, and Tim Wolf, and Juliana Schaefer, and Eleanor Meyer. We also mark the yard site of Oscar Adler, Aaron Alexander, Myron Berkson, Caroline Cohn, Bernice Cohn, Gary Cohn, Louis Colburn, Janet Cypra, Barbara Ann Doherty, Dr. Edward D. Froelich, Isidore Freumann, Kathleen Gelb, Joan Trackman Green, Lee Hoffman, Esther King, Leo Landman, Penny Lewin, Fred Leader, Dr. Andrew Lowe, Erica Mansfield, Max Margolis, Henry G. Marins, Morton Mitchell, Richard Moschel, Marie Ogden, Etta Penn, Florence Pollock, Jeanette Rickersberg, Molly Barron Royblatt, Sanford Sandy Rovner, Harold Saper, Lee Ann Silverberg, Donald Stillman, Matthew David Tarnoff, Michael Tepper, and Kay Kelly, Gary Landau, Liz Rudison, Yedidia Kellerman, Sherry Kamiko Goodman, Matthew David Tarnoff, Dr. Susan Sipes, Gladys Reeves Candell, Nick Stoller, Bill Schumacher, Michael Cooper, Rebecca Luker, Hal Kay, Roberta Kay, Linda Lightman, Jess Schessel, Edward Froelich. And as we remember them, we thank God for the gift of memory as we turn to page 598 for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish.
Yikadal Yikadash Shemei Rabbah, Yalmad Yibrach Yirutei V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayachon Yomachon V'chaye L'chol Beit Yisrael, V'agala V'zman Kariv Yimru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Olomei Almaya,
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh,
V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei D'Kedusha
B'richu,
Leila
Min
Kol
kol
Birchata
birchata
V'shirata
v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, Damiran v'yalma v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlam Rabba Mishamaya, V'chaim Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Yimamav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen.
Oseh Shalom Yimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Imru, Amen. Okay.
Cancer, I think we're closing as we began.
We are. You know, this song fires me up, and it's so exciting that we're together. So just stay standing. And these are the words. I feel it in my ribs. Say that.
I feel it in my ribs.
I feel it in my soul.
I feel it in my soul.
The pulse just grows.
The pulse just grows.
So loud and so clear. Let your heart be here. Yeah, I really feel it. I don't even care if you say the right words. Just scream out. It's very free. I feel it in my ribs. I feel it in my soul. The pulse just grows. So loud and so clear. Let your heart hear one more time. I feel it in my ribs. I feel it in my soul. The pulse just grows. So loud and so clear. Let your heart hear. Oh, let your heart hear. Let your heart be here. Shabbat shalom. There. There.
I have 30 years anniversary. Nobody mentioned this. Yeah. In my birthday is August 26th.
I listened to The Cure. I just still care.
Looks good. Her makeup on.
You can hear us.
You didn't say.